Mike Ditka, like if you become you're so big that you become like a Halloween costume.
He's out! He's out! He's out! Out!
Mike Ditka, he made it. He's one of the world's greatest Halloween costumes.
The Ditka thing was insane.
Quick side! Quick side!
That's a 9.
The swagger, the sunglasses, there was not a lot to not like about that team, especially at a young age.
For those who don't like our people, that's tough. We like them.
If you think this is a damn soap opera, you're full of
Ditka was this, you know, the machismo that, like, was every man.
Come on, Cecil. This is not the damn epic. There it is there.
And it lights your pants. Oh, got it. Oh, Coach, you did it. You get him?
Yes, Dad, here's that ass. All right, let's roll.
Hey, Bordano! You want us to cut your ass? You want us to cut your ass?
Come on, fellas, we look like we're dead. We look like we're dead. Let's go. Let's make up our mind what we're playing.
I was excited that Mike Ditka was our coach. We needed to turn things around in the Big Easy.
I think we became a team today. We became a team. That's what I'm about.
I would have loved it to have been different.
We've had some bad luck, but you know, hey, you know, before you can have a rainbow, you gotta have a little rain. If we're wrong, throw sticks and stones at us. But if we're right, you know, which I know we're right, so we'll just see what happens.
See that? That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
Coach, all the turnovers.
No, I'd rather talk to him.
Mike, you get
I know I'm smarter than that.
You gotta make progress. You gotta go forward. Let's go. All you gotta do is want it as much as we know we want it.
We want it that much.
Yeah. Let's go.
Stay out! Stay out! Give me a halfback! No, not Guy G! Oh, Greg! Damn it! The son of a G! Damn! Go out, weak side, you dumb son of a...
He's got more head by the jersey. Get in there and tell him what I want done.
Weak snake! All the way! Hey, you wanted it, you worked for it, you earned it, and then you went out and took it. And God bless you. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I'm happy for every one of you. I love every one of you.
Anything else?
Now, do you and Mike Ditka have that agreement whereby if you choose to, you can override his?
We have a lot of agreements. You know. They don't always work, but...
McMahon was just a rebel, man. Quarterbacks at that time were pretty. They were pretty, they were respectable, and then comes this guy out of BYU who has a mohawk.
Kick that mother ass!
Jim McMahon was kind of the anti-Johnny Unitas. He was just like sunglasses and cool, you know, looked like he was stoned when he was playing. He was like, you know, the rock and roll quarterback.
He was a 1980s John Hughes movie antagonist looking dude. Like he looked like a bad guy in one of those movies. The headbands, that jaw.
With his Ray-Bans on, you knew there was going to be a bud in his hand seconds after the game finished. I have a good time. Thursday nights, usually I'll go out with the linemen and have a few drinks, and Sunday after a game, but other than that, I really don't drink a lot.
He wore sunglasses everywhere, even in interviews, even indoors. He had accidentally stabbed himself in the eye with a fork when he was a kid, and so he was very sensitive to light, and that's why he needed the sunglasses. But the sunglasses definitely added some cool factor.
McMahon in the dark glasses, of course.
I mean, he was headbutting linemen after scoring.
You get your hands up first, then you see if you can go find a guy to bump heads with.
And is writing things on sweatbands and wearing them and getting fined for it.
Outrageousness. It's nothing more than a way to wake people up. Especially yourself.
He played like he didn't give a crap about how people perceived him, how he went over with society.
Just let them know where it hurt.
How he got over with the coaches, specifically Ditka. He would override Ditka's calls, and Ditka would throw his clipboard down, and then his clipboard would knock his headphones off. He was so angry at McMahon for flagging down the run play.
Vikings coming on a blitz. McMahon back to throw. Throws it deep down the middle. Willie goes. His end zone makes the over-the-shoulder catch. Touchdown! Yeah. All right.
I came off the field, and Mike started yelling, "What did you call?" I said, "Hey, I called the screen pass." He said, "Why'd you throw it to Willie?" I said, "Because he was open." What are you bitching at? We just scored, you know?
He was just fun to watch. But McMahon had a real knowledge of the game. That's what you kind of lose in all the flash and the character, is that he was wild, he was crazy, but he was a really, really smart quarterback.
Maybe I do it differently than other people, and maybe that's why they think I'm nuts.
Come on, butthead!
The spirit of that team, and it was a Star Wars cantina of personalities. Jim McMahon was really the glue that bonded that Bears team together, the life and soul of every party, and there were so many parties.
Good-natured humor among the fellas. That's what we enjoy.
His swag, along with how good he was at the game, make him a Chicago legend, and we love him for it.
I went down to Florida about 2 months ago, and I talked to these kids down there about drugs. Now, what the hell am I going to talk to kids about drugs for? I don't know anything about drugs. I wouldn't even know what a drug looked like. And the only advice I could give these kids, I said, and they were all boys, I said, listen, let me tell you something. Drugs are ruining a lot of people. They're ruining a lot of great athletes, a lot of great people. I said, if some guy tries to come and sell you drugs, the only thing I can tell you to do is kick him in the balls.
He's been extremely busy the last few days, but he's He's supposed to come down the chimney, not through the wall.
Let's see. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Oh, I bet this is my Spider-Man costume that I've worn. Terrific.
Number 70, Art Donovan, played the team buffoon.
Well, see, I'm laughing. I'm sure he, in his own way, cracked people up at the bottom of a 5 or 6 player pileup in the mud. I can just see it.
I drop kicked him right in the face as hard as I could. So I went in the Rams huddle. I said, look, you jerk, you can't win. Run the clock out, you see? And he looks up at me and says, drop dead, you big fat old man. And from our side, you know, Tracy house, Fatso, you're in the wrong huddle. And I got penalized 5 yards for being on the offside.
Bratkowski is KO'd by 270-pound Art Donovan.
Every time you'd see him, how are you? Yeah, I mean, it was just...
One time I broke my leg, and 2 weeks after I broke my leg, the coach says to me, you gotta play. I said, I can't play, I can't even walk. How the hell am I gonna play football? He said, when they snap the ball, fall down. He said, maybe you're lucky somebody will trip over you.
About the funniest person in pro football, I think. There are others, but you have to go a long way to top Art Donovan.
What do I know? All I know is I was lucky enough. I was a 25-year-old rookie with the Baltimore Colts. The only way I made the NFL was on account of I was with the worst team in the league, and we all made it because we were better than the guys that they had that must have really been bad, because we weren't that good. I didn't retire. Louis Eubanks run me off the field. He run my big fat ass right off out of training camp. I fooled him. He thought I was 37, but I was 39. So I got a couple of years on him anyhow.
Well, listen, Santa, thanks for the visit. And you've had a terrific weekend, you know, and for your performance this weekend, we decided that you definitely have earned the game ball.
Oh,
so congratulations.
Thank you, Steve.
You need a little air in it.
Yeah, it looks like I sat on it. Got a little fear?
No.
You ain't got no fear? No. Come on. You got a little fear, though, don't you?
I tell you, Deacon was a character.
Deacon was a public relations stunt. My real name is David Jones. And you look at the LA phone book, you see 25 or 30 David Joneses in there. And I needed something to set me apart from the rest of the pack, other than the fact that I was the best football player.
The gospel, according to Deacon Jones, meant waging a never-ending assault on the opposition. And throughout his career, he always practiced what he preached.
I always felt that the game is psychological. I did try to intimidate my opponent. I'd talk about his mother, I'd call them nasty names. I'd do anything I could. They were just trying to get the upper hand and get the edge, and it does give you the edge.
The fearsome foursome, which was just a great moniker for a group of guys, that defensive line. Lamar Lundy, Rosie Greer, Merlin Olsen, and Deacon Jones. Pulled it out.
How could you forget a guy like Deacon Jones with the head slap?
The head slap was to do two purposes. One was to give myself an initial head start on the pass rush. In other words, an extra step. Because anytime you go upside a man's head, then they have a tendency to blink their eyes, and that was all I needed.
I didn't invent the head slap. I perfected it, okay? Rembrandt didn't invent painting either.
He's the one who invented the word sack. He'll tell you he did.
I developed a term called sacking the quarterback. Sacking the quarterback is just like you devastate a city, or you cream a multitude of people. I mean, it's just like you put all the offensive players in one bag, and I just take a baseball bat and beat on the bag. Okay, we just found a term.
And Dave Jones is in to drop him for a 17-yard loss.
Just watching him take off after the quarterback, with Merlin Olsen sometimes finishing for him.
Before Little House on the Prairie.
Before Little House on the Prairie, which people wouldn't even get what that's about.
Deacon, not only was he huge on the football field, he and Merlin, I mean, they did Hollywood.
Who be you?
I am looking for a little girl about so high. I'm her mother.
Named Tabitha?
Yes.
You will pay for her no-nos. Blue as the violet and red as the rose. And if you don't believe me, I'm gonna break your nose.
Going, really? Is it?
Attack, attack, attack. And I like to think that with that approach to the game, I walked out totally unmarked. And I think that record in itself, 14 years in the pros and 4 in college and 3 in high school, is second to none. I have no scratches, no marks, and nothing but a bleeding heart.
Was there one thing that made you fall in love with the NFL?
The one thing I think I fell in love with was my head coach, Bum Phillips.
The Oilers had come up with a brand new head coach that nobody ever heard of. A good old boy named O.A. Bum Phillips.
He carried himself as a cowboy coach. His swagger was Western.
What's your favorite skin?
Probably ostrich. You know, that's probably the softest.
This one.
Yeah.
He was country, and just felt country to me, and he's got boots that are beautiful, baby blue, ostrich boots. His mother told him he'd never wear your cowboy hat in the house, so he never wore it in the dome. You were in the house. Whatever he said, it'd sound crazy, sound corny, sound country.
They say the harder we played, the behinder we got. We've done it all year long. We hadn't let go of that rope. And we're not going to start right now. Let's go get this.
Hold on to the rope. He didn't know what the hell you mean, hold on to a rope. That was one of the themes of Houston. Hold on to that rope.
The only way I could explain the doggone thing was in the form of like two mountain climbers climbing on a mountain, and one of them slips and falls. We know that the guy that fell is not going to let go of the rope. What we wanted was someone on the other end of that rope that we knew wouldn't let go of it.
I'm from New Jersey. I'm not a cowboy, but it worked. He pulled everybody together.
These boys have more fun than anybody, don't they?
We'd be in training camp. He'd be playing dominoes with guys late at night. He wasn't trying to be no fancy guy, a whole lot of fanfare. He was just Bum.
You saw our sign, huh? It ain't over till the fat man spits. What a horse thing. Oh, come on, hellfire! Theirs was, but ours wasn't. Wait a minute, why don't you call it? Let me talk about it.
He had some great quotes, some great sayings.
We might as well run it. Yep. Let's run the Bummerooski. Huh? Run the Bummerooski.
You'd huddle everybody up, and he'd say, all right, every man get a man. Every good man get two. And we would look at each other, and he goes, well, ready, break. And we'd break, and we'd go on and play.
Get up! Get up! Get up! Hold it! Come see now why we say we don't let go of that rope? But if they had their chances, they wouldn't let it go.
Bum Phillips taught his men how to dance every dance and hold on to the rope.
I said before the game we were short on manpower, but we were long on guts, and I'm damn sure right.
Hey, I'm gonna give you a kiss. Hey, all right. Hell of a run, Ronnie.
I love you, man.
I'm going to try to live my life the way I think that it ought to be lived. I'm going to raise my children the way I think they ought to be raised, and I'm going to coach the way I think I ought to be coaching, and I'm going to treat people the way I think they ought to be treated. I don't believe I could change it. And if that happens to be country, well, then I'm country.